Everybody's been hating on Jeff Bezos' wedding with Lauren Sanchez. The Italian people are not happy, society hates it, and now celebrities are even turning on the couple. Charlize Theron decided to make a moment of her speech at a charity event to call out the couple and to say that they suck. She said, "I think we might be the only people who did not get an invite to the Bezos wedding," stating, "But that's okay because they suck and we're cool." At one point she said, "Yeah, F them," while on stage.
In a world where billionaires throw extravagant weddings that could fund entire countries, Charlize Theron has stepped up to the plate with a fiery commentary that's as entertaining as it is pointed. The Oscar-winning actress recently took a swing at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's jaw-dropping $50 million wedding in Venice, Italy, and let's just say, she didn't hold back. During her 5th annual block party for the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project, Theron quipped, "I think we might be the only people who did not get an invite to the Bezos wedding, but that's okay because they suck and we're cool." The crowd erupted in laughter, but the underlying message was crystal clear. While the rich and famous were busy celebrating in opulence, the world outside was grappling with serious issues. Theron's comments came at a time when the world feels like it's burning, as she aptly put it. With rising global crises, from immigration issues to gender-based violence, the actress used her platform to highlight the stark contrast between the lavish lifestyles of billionaires and the struggles faced by everyday people. "Yeah, FK them," she added, leaving no doubt about her disdain for the extravagant display of wealth.
We're moving backwards fast. Immigration policy is destroying the lives of families, not criminals. Women's rights are becoming less and less every day. Queer and trans lives are increasingly being erased, and gender-based violence is on the rise.
The wedding itself was a star-studded affair, featuring a guest list that read like a who's who of Hollywood. The Kardashians, Oprah Winfrey, Leonardo DiCaprio, and even Tom Brady were all in attendance. But while the couple was busy tying the knot on the picturesque island of San Giorgio Maggiore, protests erupted in Venice, with locals criticizing the impact of such grand events on tourism and living costs. Talk about a wedding that stirred the pot. Theron's remarks didn't just resonate with her audience. They sparked a wave of support from fellow celebrities. Mia Farrow took to social media to celebrate Bezos' ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, praising her philanthropic efforts and contrasting her charitable spirit with the excesses of the wedding. Meanwhile, Katie Couric chimed in, calling Sanchez's wedding dress tacky and likening it to a throwback to the 1980s. Ouch. But it seems Bezos and Sanchez weren't laughing. Reports suggest that Bezos was livid over Theron's comments, and there are whispers that she may have been banned from all things Bezos-related, including future events and launches. It's a classic case of don't poke the bear, but Theron's fearless attitude is what makes her a beloved figure in Hollywood. As the dust settles on this high-profile wedding, one thing is clear: Charlize Theron isn't afraid to speak her mind, especially when it comes to the glaring disparities between the ultra-wealthy and the rest of us. In a world where billionaires can throw $50 million weddings, it's refreshing to see someone like Theron remind us that there's more to life than glitz and glamour. So here's to Charlize. May her feisty spirit continue to shine a light on the issues that matter.
But I'm glad she took a moment out to go and call out this couple because they deserve it, and she really was feeling herself.
The wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez has come to a close, and the aftermath is already stirring up conversation. The couple, in a move that can only be described as extravagant, rented out the entire city of Venice for their lavish celebration. However, instead of a fairy tale ending, they faced a harsh reality, a wave of protests from locals who were far from thrilled about the billionaire's $55 million nuptials. As celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Oprah Winfrey, and Leonardo DiCaprio arrived, they were met not with cheers but with chants from protesters demanding justice and accountability. This event was dubbed the Royal Wedding of the US. But unlike royal weddings that typically unite a nation in joy, this one ignited outrage and division. The festivities spanned 3 days, featuring a series of over-the-top events, including a masquerade ball and a foam party on Bezos' $500 million super yacht. It was a spectacle that felt more like a movie than a wedding, and yet, amidst the glitz and glamour, the couple appeared oblivious to the chaos surrounding them. Imagine being on that yacht, surrounded by luxury while protesters rallied against your very presence. Jeff and Lauren didn't just thrive on wealth. They reveled in the spotlight, using this wedding as a chance to showcase their status. But as the world watched, the question loomed, can money truly buy happiness, or is it just a facade? The wedding invitation, which leaked to the media, was surprisingly underwhelming for a billionaire couple. It was basic, almost childlike in its design, and included a request for no gifts. Because, of course, what could they possibly need? Instead, they asked guests to donate to various organizations, a move that felt more like a PR strategy than genuine charity. In the wake of their extravagant celebration, the locals of Venice are left to grapple with the disruption caused by the event. With around 200 guests expected, the impact on the community was palpable. While the mayor of Venice expressed support for the wedding, citing potential economic benefits, many residents remained unconvinced. They saw their city transformed into a playground for the ultra-wealthy and were not going down without a fight. Protests erupted across the city, with demonstrators unfurling banners that read "No space for Bezos" from iconic landmarks like the Rialto Bridge. Activists used this high-profile event to voice their frustrations about over-tourism and the environmental degradation that comes with it. While the city touted the wedding as a boost to local tourism, many residents felt their home was being exploited for the entertainment of the rich. As the dust settles over the canals, the stage has been set for a weekend of excess, but the undercurrent of dissent remains strong. The festivities may have concluded, but the voices of the people have been heard loud and clear. Amidst the laughter and celebration, the question lingers. Can a wedding that costs more than some countries' GDP truly bring joy, or is it merely a distraction from the pressing issues at hand? As the wedding festivities of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez come to an end, the protests in Venice have left a lasting impression. Activist groups, including the notable Extinction Rebellion, took to the streets, chanting slogans like "No space for Bezos." Their message was clear. They weren't just opposing a wedding. They were challenging the very notion of wealth inequality and the exploitation of their beloved city. The atmosphere was electric, with locals hanging banners from bell towers, declaring their disdain for the billionaire's presence. One banner, boldly crossed out with a red X, read "Jeff Bezos," a stark reminder that not everyone was celebrating this union. Activists even threatened to fill the canals with inflatable crocodiles to block celebrity guests from reaching the wedding venue. While this creative protest highlighted the desperation of locals, it also underscored their frustration with the city being turned into a playground for the rich. Meanwhile, the celebrity guests, including the Kardashian clan and other A-listers, arrived in droves, seemingly unfazed by the chaos outside. They were there to enjoy the lavish parties, but the stark contrast between their glamorous experience and the local struggles was impossible to ignore. As they stepped off their water taxis, one couldn't help but wonder if they were aware of the protests happening just a stone's throw away. Jeff and Lauren, on the other hand, appeared to be in their own bubble, soaking in the sun and the festivities on their yacht. They seemed completely detached from the reality of the situation, enjoying their extravagant celebration while the world watched in disbelief. The couple's indifference to the protests only fueled the fire, as locals expressed their frustration over the disruption caused by the wedding. Adding to the tension, it was revealed that despite the grandiosity of the event, Jeff and Lauren may not even be legally married by the end of the weekend. A senior official from Venice Town Hall stated that unless they had a separate legal ceremony, their union wouldn't be binding under Italian law. Imagine spending $55 million on a wedding and not even being legally married. This twist added another layer of absurdity to an already outrageous event. As the protests escalated, the local government was forced to tighten security measures, banning pedestrians and water traffic from certain areas. The mayor, while supportive of the wedding, faced backlash from residents who felt their voices were being ignored. The tension between the couple's celebration and the community's outrage reached a boiling point, making it clear that this wedding was more than just a personal affair. It became a symbol of the growing divide between the ultra-wealthy and everyday citizens. With the world watching, the question remains: did the protests succeed in making their voices heard, or did the wedding go on as planned, a lavish display of wealth in a city struggling to maintain its identity? As the celebrations concluded, it was evident that the impact of this event would resonate far beyond the glitz and glamour, leaving Venetians to grapple with the ongoing challenges of over-tourism and the preservation of their historic city. As the wedding festivities of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez conclude, the atmosphere in Venice remains charged with tension. The couple's extravagant plans face significant disruption due to protests that challenge the opulence surrounding their event. Activists successfully turned the wedding into a symbol of the chaos and inequality that permeates society, forcing the couple to adapt their plans amid mounting local discontent. The celebrations, which spanned several days, attracted a star-studded guest list, including high-profile figures like Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, and the Kardashian family. However, the event was not without controversy. Over 1,000 protesters marched through the streets, brandishing banners that read, "No space for Bezos," and "If you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more tax." This juxtaposition of luxury against the backdrop of local unrest highlighted the growing divide between the ultra-wealthy and the everyday citizen. The wedding generated an estimated $1.1 billion in economic value for Venice, primarily through global media exposure, which accounted for about 90% of that figure. The couple's choice of venue, the historic Arsenal, and their use of local artisans for wedding services were touted as efforts to promote sustainable tourism. However, many locals felt that the event exploited their city, with the mayor attempting to balance the economic benefits against the concerns of residents. In a surprising twist, the ceremony itself was marked by a unique touch. Lauren Sanchez wore a stunning high-neck dress by Dolce & Gabbana, inspired by Sophia Loren's iconic gown from the film Houseboat. The couple exchanged vows on the small island of San Giorgio, accompanied by a performance from Matteo Bocelli, son of renowned tenor Andrea Bocelli. The event was lavish, yet it lacked the legal binding that many would expect, leading to speculation about the couple's intentions and public image. As the newlyweds departed Venice, they were seen smiling and waving from a boat, embodying the glamour of their celebration. However, the reality of the protests and the ongoing discussions about wealth and privilege lingered in the air. While Jeff and Lauren celebrated their union, the people of Venice continued to voice their concerns, reminding everyone that the wedding was not just a spectacle but a catalyst for broader conversations about social justice and economic disparity. In the end, the wedding served as a stark reminder of the divide between the ultra-wealthy and the average citizen. As the festivities came to a close, observers were left to ponder the implications of such wealth and the responsibilities that accompany it. This lavish affair may have been a grand celebration, but it also underscored the growing discontent among those who feel marginalized. In a world where billionaires can commandeer entire cities for their celebrations, the question remains, what does this mean for the rest of us? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe while you're there. I'll see you in the next one.